Chapter 1. Dawn of Divinity. In the time before time, when the earth was a silent expanse of endless sands, and the heavens were a tapestry of uncharted stars, there was a stirring in the celestial realm. It was a moment of divine inception, a dawn that would herald the age of gods, and the shaping of both the cosmos, and the fate of all that would dwell within it. Amidst the swirling chaos of creation, a figure emerged, as majestic as the sun that would later traverse the sky. His form was both fearsome and awe-inspiring, with the sharp, keen eyes of a falcon, and the noble bearing of a king. This was Horus, the sky god, born of the union between the earth and the heavens, a bridge between the realms of mortals and the divine. The land of Egypt, with its life-giving river and its endless deserts, was his domain. It was here that Horus first spread his wings, casting shadows upon the dunes, and bringing the promise of order to a world untamed. His gaze pierced through the veils of eternity, and with each beat of his mighty wings, the sky above responded, roiling with the power of storms and the tranquility of clear blue. Horus was not alone in his ascension. Other deities took form, each embodying a facet of existence. Isis, with her nurturing grace; Osiris, the embodiment of renewal and the afterlife; Set, the force of chaos and change, all were kin to Horus, and together they wove the intricate tapestry of divine rule. But it was Horus who was destined to wear the double crown, to unite the upper and lower kingdoms of Egypt, and to serve as the protector of the pharaohs, who were his earthly avatars. His right to rule was not unchallenged, however, and the skies would bear witness to the struggles and triumphs of this falcon-headed god. The first rays of the sun, a celestial body that would come to be known as Ra, touched the tip of the Great Pyramid, igniting the capstone with a golden glow. It was a signal to all of creation that the age of gods had begun, and that Horus, the sky god, was its herald. As the light spread across the land, awakening it from the slumber of chaos, the people looked up and felt the presence of divinity. They saw the falcon-headed man etched against the canvas of the dawn, and they knew that their lives were forever changed. They would build temples in his honor, tell tales of his exploits, and seek his favor in the trials to come. The dawn of divinity was not just the birth of a god, but the birth of civilization itself, a civilization that would rise from the sands and reach for the stars, guided by the unwavering vision of Horus, the sky god, whose kingdom was boundless as the sky itself. Chapter 2. The Falcon's Flight. As the golden age of gods unfolded, the land of Egypt flourished under the watchful eyes of Horus, the sky god. His dominion was absolute, his vision encompassing all that lay beneath the endless expanse of azure. Yet, with the rise of divinity came the inevitable tide of discord. The balance of power was delicate, and the ambitions of gods and men alike threatened to disrupt the harmony that Horus had so meticulously crafted. It was during these times of burgeoning unrest that Horus took to the skies, his great wings unfurling with the authority of the heavens. The falcon's flight was a spectacle that commanded awe and reverence, a testament to the might and vigilance of the god who bridged the worlds. With each beat of his wings, Horus sent forth the winds of change, sweeping across the deserts and the Nile, breathing life into the land and its people. But the skies were not his alone. Set, the embodiment of chaos, coveted the throne and the power it represented. His envy was as a storm on the horizon, dark and brooding, threatening to engulf the world in strife. The clash between order and chaos was inevitable, and the heavens themselves would serve as the battleground for this epic struggle. The falcon's flight took on a new purpose, a patrol of the boundaries between the realms, a guardian against the encroaching darkness. Horus's keen eyes missed nothing, and his talons were ready to strike at any who dared to challenge the divine order. The people of Egypt watched as their god soared above, a symbol of their safety and the enduring strength of their civilization. Amidst his celestial duties, Horus was not without compassion for the mortals who revered him. He listened to their prayers, felt their fears, and rejoiced in their triumphs. From his lofty vantage, he saw the potential for greatness within them, and he knew that his guidance was paramount in nurturing the seeds of their destiny. The falcon's flight was more than a display of divine power. It was a message to all of creation that the sky god was ever present, a protector and a beacon of hope. His shadow cast upon the land was both a blessing and a warning, a reminder that while the gods may reign supreme, the hearts of men were the true measure of a civilization's grandeur. As Horus continued his eternal patrol, the sun, Ra, dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of fiery orange and deepening purple. Night would fall, and with it, the mysteries of the stars would unveil themselves. But the people slept soundly, for they knew that with the dawn, the falcon's flight would resume, and Horus, the sky god, would once again ascend to affirm his dominion over the sky and the protection of all below. Chapter 3: The Battle for the Throne. The heavens, once a serene canvas of celestial beauty, now rumbled with the tension of impending conflict. The battle for the throne, foretold in whispers of prophecy and etched in the lines of ancient hieroglyphs, was upon the land of Egypt. Horus, the sky god, with his unwavering gaze and regal poise, stood ready to defend his rightful place as the ruler of the two kingdoms. Set, the usurper, his form as shifting and unpredictable as the sands he commanded, emerged from the shadows of the desert. His eyes, burning with the fires of envy and malice, were fixed upon the double crown that Horus wore with such dignity. The air crackled with the raw energy of their animosity, a storm brewing that would shake the very foundations of the world. The gods themselves chose sides, aligning with either order or chaos, as the fate of the divine hierarchy hung in the balance. Isis, with her wisdom and magic, stood by her son Horus, fortifying his spirit with her maternal strength. Osiris, though lord of the afterlife, cast his silent support to his rightful heir, his presence felt in the whispering winds that carried the scent of rebirth. The people of Egypt, their hearts heavy with uncertainty, gathered in the temples and along the banks of the Nile, offering prayers and sacrifices to bolster the might of Horus. They knew that the outcome of this divine clash would echo through the ages, shaping the destiny of every man, woman, and child. As the first light of dawn broke the horizon, the battle for the throne commenced. Horus, with the sun's rays illuminating his falcon form, soared into the sky, a beacon of light against the darkness of Set's wrath. The clash of their powers was like thunder, reverberating through the heavens and across the land, a symphony of fury and might. Set, cunning and fierce, unleashed the forces of the desert upon Horus. Sandstorms raged, serpents of wind and dust, seeking to blind and disorient the sky god. But Horus, with his keen vision, pierced through the chaos, his talons striking with precision and grace. The battle raged on, neither god yielding, their wills as strong as the eternal stones that formed the pyramids. The gods and mortals alike bore witness to the struggle, the outcome of which seemed uncertain. Horus, though battered by the relentless assault, found strength in the faith of his followers. Their voices, united in prayer, became a chorus that fueled his divine resolve. In a moment of fierce determination, Horus summoned the full breadth of his power, his wings beating with the force of 1,000 storms. A blinding light erupted from his being, a pure manifestation of order and kingship that could not be denied. Set, overwhelmed by the intensity of Horus's divine light, faltered, his form dissipating like mist before the rising sun. The battle for the throne reached its zenith, and with a final mighty cry, Horus asserted his dominance. Set was cast down, his claim to the throne shattered like glass upon the unforgiving sands. The heavens cleared, and peace once again graced the skies above Egypt. The people rejoiced, their voices rising in exultation as Horus descended, the double crown secure upon his brow. The gods too acknowledged the reaffirmed order, their powers aligning once more in harmony. The battle for the throne had been won, but it was not merely a victory for Horus, it was a triumph for all of creation. The legacy of this epic confrontation would be told for generations, a tale of a god who, against the might of chaos, stood resolute and unyielding. Horus, the sky god, had proven that the true measure of kingship was not just strength, but the unwavering love and devotion of his people. And so, the age of gods continued, with Horus watching over Egypt from his celestial throne, ensuring that the balance between the heavens and the earth remained steadfast. The sky god's reign was a testament to the enduring power of order, and under his vigilant gaze, civilization blossomed like a lotus upon the Nile, reaching ever upward toward the boundless sky. Chapter 4: The Eye of Redemption. In the aftermath of the great battle, the land of Egypt basked in the glory of Horus's victory. The sky god's triumph over Set had restored balance to the cosmos, but the scars of conflict lingered in the hearts of gods and mortals alike. It was a time for healing, for rebuilding the bonds of trust and unity that had been tested by the struggle for power. Horus, ever vigilant, sensed the undercurrent of unease that flowed through the realm. He knew that true harmony required more than the mere defeat of chaos. It demanded a gesture of reconciliation, a symbol of hope and renewal. It was then that Horus turned his divine attention to the most sacred of his possessions, the Eye of Horus, also known as the Wadjet, a symbol of protection and royal power. The eye, which had been damaged during the fierce confrontation with Set, needed to be restored. Horus understood that this act would serve as a powerful emblem of redemption, not only for himself but for all of Egypt. The restoration of the eye would mend the rifts caused by the battle, and bring about a new era of prosperity and peace. Horus called upon Thoth, the god of wisdom and knowledge, to aid him in this sacred task. Thoth, with his deep understanding of magic and the mysteries of the universe, accepted the challenge with reverence. Together, they embarked on a journey that would take them through the realms of gods and men, gathering the lost pieces of the eye, each fragment holding the essence of healing and wholeness. As Horus and Thoth traversed the land, the people of Egypt watched with bated breath. They offered their prayers and whispered words of encouragement, for they knew the significance of the eye's restoration. It was said that the Eye of Horus held the power to protect and rejuvenate, to ward off evil, and bring about the blessings of the sky god. The journey was fraught with trials, for the pieces of the eye had been scattered far and wide, embedded in the fabric of the world. Horus and Thoth faced the riddles of sphinxes, the depths of the underworld, and the heights of the celestial spheres. With each recovered piece, the eye began to glow with renewed vigor, its magic pulsing like the heartbeat of the Nile. Finally, after a quest that spanned the breadth of creation, the Eye of Horus was made whole once more. Thoth, with his scribe's precision, fused the fragments together, while Horus imbued the eye with his divine essence. The result was a talisman of unparalleled power, a beacon of redemption that shone with the pure light of the midday sun. Horus returned to the people, the restored eye held aloft for all to see. Its radiance washed over the land, cleansing the remnants of darkness, and filling the hearts of the people with joy. The Eye of Redemption, as it came to be known, was a testament to the resilience of the divine order and the enduring spirit of Egypt. The temples rang with the sounds of celebration, and the pharaohs, the earthly avatars of Horus, adorned their crowns with the likeness of the eye. It was a symbol of their divine right to rule, a reminder of the sky god's protection, and the unity of the upper and lower kingdoms. The Eye of Redemption brought forth a golden age of art, culture, and knowledge. The scribes recorded the tales of Horus's victory and the quest for the eye, inscribing them in the annals of history for eternity. The people thrived under the benevolent gaze of the sky god, their lives a reflection of the harmony that now reigned between the heavens and the earth. Horus, from his throne in the sky, watched over Egypt with pride. The Eye of Redemption was more than a symbol, it was a covenant between the god and his people, a promise of protection, prosperity, and the perpetual balance of the cosmos. And as long as the eye remained whole, the civilization of Egypt would continue to flourish, a jewel upon the banks of the Nile, under the boundless, watchful sky. Beneath the eternal expanse of the heavens, the land of Egypt stirred with anticipation. It was the day of days, the moment when the celestial and the terrestrial would unite in a spectacle of divine splendor. The coronation of the sky was upon them, a ceremony to end all ceremonies, where Horus, the sky god, would reaffirm his sovereignty over the boundless blue. The air itself seemed to hum with the sacred chants of priests and the jubilant cries of the people. They gathered, a sea of adoration, their eyes reflecting the majesty of the falcon-headed deity as he descended, resplendent and all-powerful. The double crown upon his brow gleamed with the promise of eternity, and the Eye of Redemption, the very heart of his being, blazed with a light that outshone the sun. In this hallowed moment, Horus extended his wings, an embrace that enfolded all of creation. The gods bore witness, the stars nodded in their courses, and the Nile whispered blessings as it flowed. With a voice that resonated through time and space, Horus proclaimed his undying covenant with Egypt, a vow of guardianship and grace. And as the people hailed their sky god, the heavens opened, showering the world with golden rays, anointing Horus once more as the eternal ruler of the sky. The coronation of the sky was not merely a crowning, it was the harmonious chorus of the cosmos, singing the glory of Horus, the sky god, whose reign would forever cradle the civilization of Egypt in the sheltering wings of divinity.